Well, I've covered crappy movies, I've covered decent movies, but I don't think I've gotten my channel into enough controversy yet. So let me cover something controversial, a flick by noted dinosaur hunter Steven Spielberg. We open this movie in a Latin American country which I cannot mock if I want my channel to remain monetized. The hired help tries to contain the beasts in the futuristic ages, but apparently the dinosaurs were xenophobic, so they munched down on a Latino guard before we cut away the Slenderman joke before Slenderman was even a thing. Our slender lawyer here is worried that gigantic hybrid frog lizards are bad for business, but this gentleman, who comes from a different Latin American country, reassures him that all is well. They of course name drop two main characters of this film and then zoom in on this weird little bug trapped in amber. Yes, that will be relevant later. We then meet one of the main characters called Sam Neill and his girlfriend Admiral Holdo. Apparently he's in charge of digging up dinosaur props for big movie sets, and her job is to talk under her breath and pretend to be a good actress. The one good scene from this mess is him traumatizing an annoying kid with a sharp dino claw prop, making the kid shit himself with fear, but the kid was kind of annoying, so it's okay if we make fun of him. Hell, Spielberg did it, why can't we? Evidently, an old man with a stick can sneak up on these idiots even with a helicopter in the background and hobble his way into the trailer to booze on their champagne.
Really spectacular, spared no expense.
So, the hobbling Santa ripoff tells Sam Neill and Admiral Holdo that he has a venture for them, and they're instantly hooked.
Dodson! We've got Dodson here! See, nobody cares.
Naturally, we can't have this movie without a child molester approaching, and the two discuss shady shit, which oddly enough does not involve child molestation. And here we have another main character, the good old Goldblum. And here we find out what crippled Santa spared no expense on. But before we do, we have to take the scenic route through the island, with grass, trees, and lots of high-tech prison shit all around. Meanwhile, Goldblum is trying to seduce Admiral Holdo, prompting her lifelong hatred of hot-headed swarthy men that would ultimately make her blow up a Star Destroyer while having purple hair. Oh my, well, this looks like a porn scene if I've ever seen one. And look, Admiral Holdo is even lining herself up for a blowjob. Okay, that was breathtaking. I can't make fun of that. Oh, fuck.
My dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
He said it! He said it!
The rich man with a walking stick is of course not done with his tour, so he decides to fillet himself more by showing the main characters just how much expense he did not spare. They even enter a tiny cinema and pay no admission tickets to watch one of the worst animated films ever. See? Look at this crap. I've seen Eastern European animators do a better job. While hanging out with the science team, our protagonists get to witness what it's like to hatch a dinosaur firsthand. Also, we know for a fact that dinosaurs look more like birds with feathers and stuff, so everything in this film is highly inaccurate. Just watch Trey the Explainer's videos and you'll instantly hate this movie for a number of reasons.
I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Soon enough, the team meets this action man of action. Look at him, a thick-haired British hunter with a chip on his shoulder. He knows them dinos inside and out. He discusses the dinos with the crew while the film is losing its PETA endorsement, and considering how important said endorsement is from those goddamn fanatics, the main characters discuss the plans going forward. Amusingly, nobody in the room, including Sam Neill, Admiral Holdo, and the Goldblum, actually supports this fucking project. Well, nobody except the slender lawyer over here. Oh, and here we have two kids, one of whom happens to be a dinosaur enthusiast, while another a self-described hacker. I don't believe these facts will be relevant later in the movie whatsoever. Taking the precursors to all of those Tesla electric cars today, our intrepid heroes go to the control room. And oh, look at that, the zany Sam Neill knows jack shit about the taking care of kids. I wonder if that part of him will be redeemed by the end of the movie? Also, we see that this island employs Nick Fury before he joined S.H.I.E.L.D. and the MCU. To cut the long and boring story short, our heroes beta test the tour and find no dinosaurs even when a goddamn goat is presented as a bait for one. Meanwhile, crippled Santa, Nick Fury, and Newman are discussing the finer details of tropical storms, hinting that one might be on its way. Naturally, the Goldblum again tries to fuck Holdo, but he fails since she is canonically lesbian, at least according to those god-awful Disney Star Wars novels. They leave their tour car and spot a massive male lying there, moaning. Holdo is instantly drawn to the beast, eager to see what it made it tumble worse than a fat person on a mobility scooter. Confusing her character with that of Rose Tico, Holdo cares for this weird creature and wishes to stay and help it get better. Meanwhile, Newman is about to leave the control room feeling guilty about fucking Kramer's mom and trying his damnness to lose all that weight before his next major acting role. Sam Neill and the Goldblum are discussing their own future movie projects, of course, stating that they'll carry their own individual sequels in case this one becomes a blockbuster. Meanwhile, Newman just can't leave well enough alone, so he steals some dinosaur sperm in order to sell it on the black market or whatever. Hey, it's all in the beginning of the film and I'm trying to save time here. And I know the interesting stuff is about to come, but please bear with me a while longer. Let me sum up again. Nick Fury is angry that the system is being 4chan 1337 hexed by the Newman, who is surprisingly solid driver on wet ground. The park is slowly falling apart, while our heroes are being stuck in their dumb little electric cars. Of course, the slender loyal is even worse to the kids than Sam Neill, and the Goldblum is basically a non-entity during these few scenes. And then... God, I need a cigarette after that reveal. Anyway, Slender Lawyer decides to leave the kids for dead, hiding himself in the local toilet and cementing his fate as the first major dinosaur death of this movie. The girl kid is being dumb in this scene by flashing a light for no goddamn reason and being unable to shut it down, also for no goddamn reason. The T-Rex attacks them and somehow the same dino that can flip a car with its fucking head cannot press the glass of the car roof hard enough to squish the kids into blood paste. I fucking hate fantasy movies. Meanwhile, Sam Neill and the Goldblum don't do a goddamn thing until the car with the kids is good and mangled. Sam Neill then uses a torch to drive away the T-Rex, with the Goldblum finishing the job. Oh, and Slender Lawyer dies. The girl somehow manages to grab hold of a wire while choking Sam Neill, while the male kid, well, he's dead. He's dead. No way can a kid survive a fall from this kind of a car wreck, and this kind of position in a tree canopy. Of course, in the great tradition of all pre-woke era movies, all guys that are non-fit or have zero gravitas have to die first, so Newman is next on the chopping block. He first plays Peekaboo with the scaly puppy dog of a dinosaur, but when the dinosaur loses the game it becomes sour and decides to attempt a BDSM mating claw with Newman. Our favorite postman dies in the next scene, leaving a certain Jerry Seinfeld somewhere in New York very happy. Naturally, we need not one, but two rescue scenes involving cars. The first one has Sam Neill climbing this incredibly convenient tree to save the kid, a tree that not only has vines that serves as ladders and stairs, not only has branches dribble enough to hold the car precisely above the humans escaping it as need be, but also has roots that perfectly shelter two humans from the sudden car tree impact. The second one has Admiral Holdo taking command of yet another vessel, commanding British man to take the Goldblum mere seconds before the most popular dinosaur ever gets the additional screen time. So, another quickfire round. Sam Neill takes the kids to sleep in the trees with long-necked dinos eating and squawking. Admiral Holdo is dressing down yet another fella in charge over the current chain of command, the underage girl being covered by bestiality bukkake during her twosome in an outdoor scene, and Sam Neill regretting not having an omelet before the dumb dinos hatched and grew. Naturally, Nick Fury comes up with the idea to axe everything and do a hard reboot, which crippled Santa does not appreciate. Sam Neill tries to escape his adoring fans in the meantime, an utterly useless scene only meant to depict the T-Rex eating one of those chunky boys. So Admiral Holdo and British Manly Man decide to go and switch the power on manually, but not before Holdo does her old sexism speech to the literal cripple whose kids are in danger. Just goes to show that in Hollywood you ideologically fail upwards. And, as if out of butt-fucking nowhere, we see 17 different kinds of things happen at once. Sam Neill climbs, Holdo runs, Holdo switches power on, kid gets zapped, Holdo gets chased, kid gets CPR'd, Nick Fury apparently uses a life model decoy and his lost eye suspiciously looks like a limb, and our manly man is about to say the manliest goddamn line of this entire movie.
Clever girl.
So, why would this guy leave the kids alone in this open space full of food, go outside where it's unsafe, and instead of protecting a clearly limping woman saying, "Run!" he hugs her like it's their goddamn family reunion? Well, be that as it may, the kids end up in the kitchen and Sam Neill finally finds his testicles and grabs hold of a gun. Of course, the famous kitchen scene comes as the major centerpiece of the movie. The suspense, the excitement, the unpredictability. Yeah, the kids survive, of course, but let's face it, no kid would die in a Steven Spielberg film. Oh, wait, are you telling me that girl who screamed and was useless for the entire movie now uses her 2 minutes of brilliance to be a super hacker and to restore all systems in no time flat, under stress and potential dinosaurs attacking? Why, I never would have guessed. So it's come to this. 2 raptors, 4 pasty people, one of whom was deep fried by electricity, mind you, and a lot of tension. But for some reason, the T-Rex comes over and instead of eating the humans, goes immediately for the raptors, letting our intrepid heroes flee with their bodies intact. Now, this, my friends, this is how you end the goddamn movie. Fucking noise. Yes, there are other scenes before the end, but I don't care enough to cover them. Everyone important lives, the park is closed down, and the dinosaurs remain dormant and safe until the events of the Lost World, which I hopefully will not have to cover. Talk to you soon.